All right, everybody. Hello. Welcome to. Oh, sorry, this is.
You want me to scoot
Which way are we going here? There we go. That's a little
a
better.
little
Yeah,
better?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hey, it's the Tuesday night comic book preview stream here at Fantasy Books and Games. I'm Aaron. This is
Hey,
Sam.
what up?
Oh man, I got a giant stack of new books
That's huge.
coming out tomorrow, and most of these are new books. Not only are there a lot of new books, but I think this is actually going to be the biggest week for facsimiles. We've got, I think, what was the last time I said we had like 3.5, 4?
That was last week.
Was that last week?
I can't remember.
Well, we've got like 5.5, or or 4.5 or 5, depending on it. We'll get into it. But I do these streams. I like to always start with facsimiles, and there are several good ones coming out tomorrow. First, Betty and Me #1. This is not the type of comic I normally buy, but I am a sucker for these reprints.
Yeah.
This is the first issue of Betty that was, I think it came out in 1965. So This is just reprinting classic Archie Betty comics. You can see I like this ad here for Glamour wigs.
Whoa! Only $4.95. Oh my god!
Oh, my downward camera is a little weird here. That's a little bit better. Yeah, $4.95. Look at these beautiful wigs. So that's fun. Man, we're just flying by the seat of our pants. There we go. We got it. All right. So yeah, I haven't read this, but it's classic Archie comics.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty self-explanatory on what you can expect. So moving on, next facsimile that's coming out. This is one I'm actually very excited to read. This is Action Comics number 242. As you might expect, this is the first appearance of Brainiac.
Oh, that's cool.
All the way from 1958-ish, I want to say.
Dang.
I think it was the late 50s when this one originally came out. And so, yeah, this is just classic Silver Age Superman. Yeah, good stuff. It's just like I say all the time, the quality of these DC reprints is just so good. Like the paper, the coloring down to the final detail, like it looks really, really good. Like they're not trying to zazz it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With some other reprints where they try to fix things. Although, that's funny. I forgot to mention, we're just going to go completely off script here. Last week, the Marvel Team Up facsimile came out, and that was the famous issue where Invincible teamed up with Spider-Man. And I forgot to mention that they did change some dialogue in the reprint. In the original version of the issue, because I have it, I checked. I didn't bring him in to show it off, but like I confirmed in the original issue, there's a scene where Peter Parker is talking to Mary Jane, and she says, or Mary Jane is like, "Oh, do you want to go to Blockbuster and rent some videos?" And in the new version, it says there's a new Will Ferrell movie on Amazon Prime tonight. I think I mentioned that in the stream, and I forgot to mention that it was changed dialogue. and it's just so funny to me because like I don't think it's just to make it seem more relevant, because the Invincible series, the animated series, which by the way, the 4th season comes out really soon, is on Amazon Prime. And I was like looking at that and I was like, was that Kirkman like a little advertisement for Amazon Prime? He just like snuck that in there.
Well, either that or that you can't pay Blockbuster anymore.
Maybe they didn't have. I mean, there's no way that like they didn't have the rights to just say Blockbuster. No. But like, I think he probably was just like, that Blockbuster reference is old. This is an opportunity to advertise Amazon Prime. Like they specifically said Amazon Prime. I thought that was pretty funny. So anyway, that's go check your facsimiles of Marvel Team Up 14. And you can confirm that. But anyway, on to our other classic DC comic facsimiles. There's also this one, it's Detective Comics 475. Ooh. This is the famous issue with the Jokerfish story that was adapted in the Batman animated series. It's a classic story where Joker, he uses his Joker gas to turn all the fish to have like his face. Like you see it there, he like mutates all the fish, and then he goes to a patent office because he wants to copyright the fish so that he makes a percentage of every sale of fish in the city, the state, whatever. So classic Joker. This issue is written by Steve Englehart, who he wrote a lot of stuff at Marvel in the 70s, and I never really read any of his Batman, so I'm excited to kind of give this a read. But yeah, man, just like 3 classic. There's 50s. I think this one was 70s. So, but anyway, Silver Bronze Age DC stuff. Now this is where it gets into like wonky terminology area. It's not really a facsimile. This is just the 10th printing of the first issue of Something is Killing the Children, and this cover glows in the dark. I don't have the ability, or I'm just not going to turn off the lights so that we can see that. But it's not really a facsimile, but it is just reprinting the first issue in its entirety, but with a glow in the dark cover. So, and that's why I say like facsimiles make sense when you're reprinting books that had previously never really been reprinted except for collected editions.
Right.
But in the current modern age of comic book, they do second, third. We talked about Absolute Batman's on its 11th printing for issue number 1.
That still blows me away.
I know. Yeah. I know. it's
so
crazy. But anyway, if you're a Something is Killing the Children fan, this is a cool glow in the dark. You can't really, it doesn't really pick up on camera, but like all these eyes here on the cover, they're what glows in the dark. So if you turn the lights off, you can, it's not going to show up. But anyway, that's a cool one. All right, one more facsimile, and this is another one where it's like the terminology of it is like however you want to interpret it. This is a reprint of Invincible #1, and the reason I have it in a bag and board is because this is a foil foil cover.
Yeah.
But other than the foil cover, it is a facsimile of the first issue. And I'm not even gonna. I mean, everybody here, you should be. You're either already familiar with Invincible or you don't care.
Right.
So I'm not going to flip through it because I don't want to get my fingerprints all over the foil cover. But and this is another thing where it gets into the weird terminology because they have variants for the facsimiles, and it's like, okay, like is it really a facsimile at that point? No. But they do have. So Invincible #1 reprint. I do kind of like this variant. This is by Dave McCraig. Let's put that on the downward camera. It's his interpretation of the original first cover. So you can see Corey Walker's original cover there and Dave McCraig's like version of it there. It's kind of updated. And then also there is a new cover by Ryan Ottley who would take over the series and kind of make it his. So, it's kind of nice that Ryan Ottley gets to do a cover for the first issue since he's so associated with the series.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, we got 3 different covers and they're all foil, by the way. It's that's why I'm not flipping through them. But yeah, 3 foil covers for Invincible. Okay, whew. That's a lot of reprints, facsimiles.
That is quite a bit.
Let's talk about something that's brand new.
Nice.
And that is something that I haven't actually talked about in a long time. That is a magazine, specifically a comics magazine. And what luck, tomorrow we get Comics, the magazine. This is, oh, come on, camera, get into focus there.
It was doing so good.
Yeah, there we are. Come on, latch on to it. Maybe if we just remove it all, and there we go. Okay. Hey, all right, I figured this out. So this is Comics, the magazine, brand new magazine about comics, as you might expect.
Yeah.
I read through this. This is the first issue. Okay, so I have to admit, I don't think Wizard magazine was the greatest thing in the world, but I have a soft spot for it.
Sure.
I did like to buy Wizard back in the day, and it was fun to read. So this gave me just a little bit of like shades of that, where I was like, okay, this is nice.
In a
just
good way.
Yeah, in a good way. It's not. It's definitely not as meaty as a Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
I feel like I would like to see this magazine grow as it continues on. But there's a couple of comic creators that are working on this. I didn't read too much on the history of it, but I think it is like spinning out of Chip Zdarsky's comics news that he was doing for a while.
Yeah.
Although I don't think he's writing. I think he just doesn't have time to do his news because, he's doing all that stuff at Marvel now.
He's doing like everything.
Yeah, but like they got a little write up here on Absolute Batman because that, whether you like it or dislike it, it's definitely changed the industry in some ways.
Yeah.
They got some comics in here. There is actually what I really liked is there's some write-ups on some old stuff, some interviews with creators Tony Fleecs and Scotty Young and Kyle Higgins.
Cool.
And some comics here by Michael Sweater, who does the Everything Sucks comic from Silver Sprocket Press that I really like that one. So yeah, this was nice. I have to oh yeah, there was something in here. There's a little history of, I like this the most, a brief history of fanzines. And although I can't help but notice, oh no, it's on the next page where they mentioned Wizard. Yeah, there it is. Because like I like to buy old like comics magazines, so I have like a bunch of issues of like Comics Interview, Comics Journal, Amazing Heroes, because it's fun reading just these old interview, like literally from the 80s and earlier in some cases, interviews with creators, because back then that was the only way you could get that information. You didn't have the internet where everybody's just an email or even worse, like a Twitter tag away.
We're so spoiled.
Yeah, we really are. Yeah. And which kind of brings me to why I sort of appreciated this, because I feel like internet news on comics has been really lackluster lately. Like everything's kind of segmented out into, like on social media, you just have to follow every creator in the world and you'll be up to date on everything. So I do kind of like that there's just a magazine that can spread a little hype and kind of focus on a few things that might need to be focused on. Like I said, I would like to, I mean, it's only $2.99, so it is cheaper than the average comic, which how sad is that? But you know, I would like to see it maybe
are they quote unquote drawing the line at $2.99?
To draw the line at $2.99. Who knows? They might.
Yeah.
I mean, how sad is it that you have to be old to remember that? Like, oof. Okay.
That was only a couple of years ago.
That wasn't that long ago. Wow. Yeah. I mean, do the math.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like 7, 8. Was it 10 years ago?
No. We're old.
Oof. I was born an old man. A couple of collected editions that are coming out tomorrow. I was excited to see The Magnificent Bastard.
I've never read that.
This is a manga series by the creator of Fist of North Star. I love Fist of North Star. Yeah. It's such a cool comic. This one is not like a post-apocalyptic comic. This is just like a samurai fantasy story, but it's really cool. And this nice like hardcover collection you can see here, and his art is just so good and nice and violent. You know, there's literally, I just opened up to a random page and there's a guy that's like mutilated into pieces there. Yeah, very, very cool comic. If you haven't read it, check it out. For the longest time, everybody was talking about that cool comic Berserk.
Oh yeah.
And I thought they were talking about Bastard, because it's like kind of a similar art style, you know.
I can see that.
They both kind of came from, and I was like, yeah, I've read it. I love it. It's so cool. And then after several conversations, I realized we were talking about two different books. And I was like, oh, I guess I need to check out this Berserk series that I thought I knew about.
Berserk is very specific, especially like if you're talking about it in a conversation.
Right. I was like, oh, I don't remember that at all.
The eclipse. Huh?
Right. Yeah. Also coming out tomorrow for you Godzilla fans. I've been enjoying the Godzilla vs. America series.
Yeah.
There is a new issue. We'll go ahead and grab that right now. New issue tomorrow, Godzilla versus Portland. And like all the other Godzilla vs. America issues, it's comics by they're real people.
People from Portland.
Comics by people from Portland. Yes, they do exist, I assure you. But I like this first story has Sasquatches in it, because you know, Portland, Washington. Bigfoot sightings.
I'm not a big cryptid guy. I didn't know the connection.
Bigfoot is tied to the Pacific Northwest. And so yeah, they have the Bigfoots create a kaiju to fight Godzilla. That's pretty cool. That's fun. Yes, some good art. I haven't read this one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. But if you missed any of the previous Godzilla vs. America issues, they have just been reprinted in beautiful hardcover. So there's Godzilla versus Boston, Godzilla versus Kansas City, Godzilla versus Los Angeles, and Godzilla versus Chicago, which I believe was the first one.
Yeah.
So yeah, like they are eventually going to come out with a trade paperback that collects like all of them, but these are just the individual issues, but printed in like a nice hardcover.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So yeah, they're really nice looking. So this is you know, if you like hardcovers, if you want something nice for your shelf, you know, that can sit on there, we got all of these. I hope they do Portland in a hardcover soon because
be cool.
it feels weird that they did all the other ones, but there's been a little bit of a break between
they're catching up.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But anyway, Godzilla, we got all kinds of Godzilla here tomorrow. Okay.
Nice.
Sam, I've been doing a lot of talking. What's something you read that you liked?
I really liked Bleeding Hearts #2.
Yeah.
I would be careful flipping through that. There's one danger page.
That's right. That's right. I did read this one too.
Yeah.
I liked this issue a lot.
I did too.
We both really liked issue 1, right? Yeah. I've heard so we were both gushing about it. And I've heard a lot of people. I've actually heard more of a mixed response from people.
Really?
Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
I'm shocked by that.
I was too, but I think it's partially just because it's mostly just about the zombie character, and there's not really a lot of I thought there was a lot of world building, but there's not a sense of what the story is going to be, what the ongoing story is going to be, and you get that in this issue.
Yes.
Which I really liked because this issue is completely told from the perspective of a human. The zombie character is not even. I mean, he's in it, but he's not it's not his perspective.
No.
He's just a zombie, in this story where the humans, all they do, they see him and he's just wandering around like a zombie. But so this was all I'm trying to remember where the page was.
I think
let's skip past that. This was all kind of it wasn't all backstory, but it was a lot of world building, a lot of introducing these characters, this human survivor and her kid. And I really liked it. What did you think of it, Sam?
I thought it was really strong. I liked the first issue. It kind of presents where the story's going pretty well. Trying to think what else. I thought the art was excellent.
I mean, I think the art is one of the biggest selling points of this. I like Denise Camp a lot. I think he's kind of having a moment, but it certainly helps when you're working with just incredible artists that are making the best looking comics on the stands.
Right. Yeah, no, I would wholeheartedly agree with that. It was the first thing I read in my stack. I was the most excited to read that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I liked it a lot. I thought it was really good. And like I said, I think what I liked about it was the perspective switch. And it did kind of make me think, I think one of the things that Denise Camp has been doing in a lot of the books he's been writing, he's been doing larger stories through different perspectives.
Yeah.
We've talked about Assorted Crisis events where each issue is its own standalone story. And I think even the Ultimates, each issue was about a different character. So
Ultimates, have you been reading that?
I've not been reading that.
That's been wild.
Has it?
It's been wild. It's definitely not my favorite thing written by that particular writer, but it's just some Marvel high concept stuff.
It's really out there. I mean, I would expect it from Denise Camp.
Yes.
It's funny because he gets so much attention for Absolute Martian Manhunter, and I don't hear anybody talking about the Ultimates. Even though it's the same guy doing it, Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. Anyway, so that's really good. Highly, highly recommend Bleeding Hearts if you haven't checked it out yet. Also coming out tomorrow, trade paperback. This is The Ends by David and Maria Lapham.
Okay.
We're both big fans of the Laphams here.
I'm starting to be. I really wasn't that familiar with their work until we started talking about them on the stream.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So this is a Bad Idea book.
Okay.
And this was a series that came out a few years ago, and it's finally being collected. Which, first of all, I have to say how excited I am that Bad Idea is finally doing trade paperbacks of their stuff.
It's a good idea to do it.
It just, it just works. There was a time, for those that don't know, when this publisher started, their whole gimmick was that they weren't going to reprint stuff, and now they're reprinting stuff. So I mean, there was these issues originally came out at a weird time. I think it was 2023 I saw, and I don't even know if they were widely available to comic shops. So same thing with we've talked about a few books that have been reprinted. The Hank Howard Pizza Detective and They're All Terrible by Matt Kindt.
Right.
Those originally started to come out a few years ago, and then Bad Idea. I'm not privy to any industry information. I think there was just some restructuring or replanning on how they were releasing stuff, and now they're kind of back at it and getting stuff in comic shops.
Cool.
So I'm happy. So I'm really happy to finally read this. I'm excited.
As somebody who reads primarily trades, yes.
Right.
It's just a good idea to
Yeah.
do it.
And I don't know much about this other than it's a crime drama like a lot of the stuff they do, but it's got a pull quote on it. I couldn't put it down by Mr. Ed Brubaker, which I mean, could you get a better pull quote for your crime comic than Ed Brubaker? I don't think so. A couple of other new things. We have two. These are actually two local creators, or I should say, it's a local creator, 2 issues. Crypt of Heroes. We have issue 1 in store, but also the creator just dropped off issues 2 and 3. And as you might be able to tell from the cover, it's like a superhero horror kind of angle. Like there's like a Frankenstein cool. There, Frankenstein core. So, let me put this on the big down camera. There you go. You can kind of see everything. But yeah, this is a local creator, Jason Contini, I believe, dropped these off. So we got these in store. So if you like small press stuff, indie stuff, and you want to support local, here you go. We have 3 issues of Crypt of Heroes. There's issue 2 and 3. We just got in, and we also have issue 1. All right. I got a few things in my regular poll. I'm not really going to talk about that much. Ninja Turtles Journeys, TMNT Journeys. This continues to be a wild book. I like the art a lot, and I love the old Mirage books because they're weird in a way that none of the later Turtles books really never approach. And that's what makes them so good.
Nice.
Also, I would be a bad fan if I didn't mention there's a new issue of G.I. Joe. I'm a big fan of Joe, and Larry Hama just continues to write a cool book.
Nice.
Let's see, what else do I have? Transformers. This is the Energon Universe Transformers, which is not in continuity with the regular G.I. Joe series, but still another very good one. I think I've mentioned this before. I was like all prepared to kind of not
because of Kirkman
keep up with well, not because of Kirkman, just like because Daniel Warren Johnson's run ended, and I felt like that's a decent enough stopping point. You got a nice little complete run, but it's been good. It's still been good, and I shouldn't be totally shocked. Like Kirkman knows what he's doing, and he's got great art. I mean, Dan Mora has been drawing it because he draws everything, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it's been solid. Nice. Also in my regular poll, Supergirl number 11. And I haven't read this issue yet, but I'm gonna just if I don't like to normally do this, but I'm gonna be real with you, Sam.
You're gonna be real.
I'm gonna be real with everybody watching our stream right now. You're gonna get real uncut Aaron right now.
Okay.
I am so disappointed in DC for giving Sophie Campbell's cover the variant cover.
And
that's not the main cover. The main cover is this beautiful cover by Dan Mora, because as we said, he draws everything.
Right.
But I'm really shocked that Sophie Campbell is, I want to say, demoted to the variant cover status on her own book. And more so because for the last several issues, Supergirl has kind of had a problem. Let me backtrack. Not a problem, but there have been fill-in artists that have been drawing issues, and Sophie's only been able to draw one issue every 3 months or so, 3 or 4 months.
It's tough.
Trust me. Yeah, keeping up with the monthly schedule is tough. But this issue is written and drawn by Sophie Campbell. This is one of the ones in the last 4 months that is completely written and drawn by her. And so it looks really good. And I'm very excited for it because the story's kind of been building up to this moment. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of good action in it. It all takes place in the tiny bottled city of Kandor, as you might be able to tell from the cover. But it just annoys me so much that they made Dan Mora's cover the main cover, and I sort of get why they did. It looks like they're trying to tie it into a post DC KO event. I don't know if they're actually going to do more Reign of the Superboys here, but this character that's featured prominently on the cover. Oh, I don't even remember his name. Kid Thunderbolt, something like that.
Okay.
He first appeared. He was created by Dan Mora. He first appeared in Mora and Wade's World's Finest run, and he was Superman's sidekick for a while.
Okay.
And this character, I can't believe I'm having to complain. He is in the issue, but it's like a spoiler. But they're putting him on the cover to advertise that he's in that issue to try and get more people to read it. But if you read this issue looking for this character, he's literally only in 2.5 panels. So I was like,
yeah.
and just looking at it, like I'm just gonna like clearly this was designed to be the main cover. Like, look at all this white space here where the Supergirl logo would go,
right?
you know. And so
and it's a perfect because that's probably what the issue is about. If I had to guess, right?
You are correct. This is actually what's in the issue, not Kid Thunderbolts or whatever. And so I will say I'm looking forward to one day getting to meet Sophie Campbell at a comic convention and getting this issue signed, because there's a great spot here for giant signature. I'll be able to. It'll be prominently displayed. I did that. I have, if I could, while we're talking about Invincible, I have Invincible number 13, which is a famous issue. Well, not a famous issue. It's not a famous issue is the point, but it's got a ton of more white space on it than this cover. And I got it signed by Kirkman and Otley. And the reason I picked it's not like a key issue. I had other key issues that I could have had them signed, but it just had all that white space for their signatures to go. And they just scribbled all over it nice and big. So they got giant signatures on there. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one someday.
Maybe that was their intent.
I don't think so. No. I have a story about it in my own comic, Autographical. I write about this meeting that took place and what Ryan Otley said to me about why the cover is the way it is. You'll have to come into the store and buy a copy of my self-published comic, Autographical, to read the story.
I have a copy. I just need to track it down. I know.
Well, there's 3 issues. I don't remember which issue it's in. I think it's the first one.
Yeah, I think I have them.
Anyway. Yeah. Let's talk about some real comics.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for the seasons to be back. This has been on a little bit of a hiatus. This is by Rick Remender and Paul Azaceta, and I love Paul Azaceta's work. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. And there's great colors in this as well, like really pops. But this is kind of like a fun, like a surreal, almost like an Indiana Jones, but like dreamy and like little Studio Ghibli-esque, I should say. It's kind of like, I think the way I described it was if Studio Ghibli made a horror film, where it's not, and I mean that literally, like it's not a horror film in the style of Studio Ghibli. It's like as if Studio Ghibli made a horror film, meaning it's not very horrific, but it gets a little dark, you know? Yeah, I mean,
a little darker for Ghibli.
Correct. Yeah. Because like some of their stuff, there's like little dark elements here and there, but they never really go. This just goes a little bit further into it.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend this series if you have not read it. All right, Sam, what's something else that you got? Sorry, I got all this hair in my eye.
You're good. You got that on the
are we going to talk? So we're going to do it?
About it? Let's talk about
X-Men United. You got a variant cover there. Yeah. This is 2 different covers. Did I have them backwards? I can't. There it is. Yeah, look at that. So let's we'll put that down on the big screen there. This is the new X-Men. I mean, it's a nice picture, you know, and
it's the new X-Men status quo, maybe.
It's kind of. We both read this issue, and I think it's what's interesting about this is that we're kind of coming at it from 2 slightly different perspectives. I have not been following new X-Men stuff. Every time I dip in, I'm just like, this isn't for me. You have been reading.
I've been reading pretty much everything.
Yeah.
For the most part.
So as like a new number 1 jumping on point, kind of setting the stage, like setting the like what the new ongoing series is going to be. What'd you think of it?
You know, it's good to see the exceptional X-Men characters back, and because they do kind of steal the show.
We should mention that this is written by Eve Ewing, who was writing Exceptional X-Men from last year.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is kind of like I read the first issue of Exceptional X-Men, but I didn't follow it. But I did assume, because there was a lot of characters in this that I didn't recognize. Right. And I assume they're from the Exceptional X-Men.
They're the majority. Like there are 3 kind of key players from that are 4, if I'm remember correctly. Yeah, there's like 4 characters who are major to the Exceptional X-Men line that make a big appearance in this book, and it was cool to see them again.
Okay. Does this feel like a kind of like a direct continuation, dare I say, sequel to Exceptional X-Men?
That's what I'd call it. Yeah,
okay,
for the most part.
I mean, that's good. Yeah. I know people did like that series.
Yeah. Let's see what to say about X-Men United.
Well, I'll tell you right up front. I was not very impressed.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
It did its job, but it also felt kind of empty to me. And we had kind of mentioned that before off camera. You know, sometimes we just talk casually,
we talk to each other.
but we try not to cheat too much. But I felt like there was like a high concept here, but it wasn't enough for a first issue. Like I wanted a little bit more of like what's going on with.
If they would have talked more about how the gray matter lane worked, kind of the origin of that idea.
Yeah,
like the inception of.
I feel so. Like the basic concept, I guess we should say, is that Emma Frost is setting up a new version of Xavier's Institute, which is all like a psychic school.
Yeah.
So people no longer have to physically go to the school to attend, and it all exists in like the psychic space. And that's basically the setup. And it just introduces a lot of characters. They have a fun danger room sequence. You get to see some of the like Wolverine's the danger room teacher. Like Beast is what they say, mutant biology.
I think he was like anatomy.
A mutant anatomy, yeah. And so like, and then a lot of other characters were just kind of there but didn't do anything. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like that idea, like that's a good high concept, you know, for X-Men, but it feels like it should be the B or the C plot in a first issue where they set up something else that's going on, and then this is something that's set up to pay off down the line.
Right.
But there's really like nothing, not much else. I won't say nothing because there was another thing that we're not going to spoil. That was kind of the final page hook.
About the very end.
I'm talking about the very end, like the big hook, which
I didn't quite get it.
I didn't. Yeah. It felt like I'm gonna be really mean here. It felt a little bit like I was going to say lost writing. I don't know if they go that far. Well, it just feels like it's a bunch of specific things that are set up to be red herrings.
Yeah.
So that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. And then the next issue, they're going to reveal what really happened. And it was all just like a fake, like a lie. Like they just, they're letting you believe something that didn't actually happen because it's dramatic.
Yes.
That was
the impression I got from the last page.
The feeling I got. Yeah. If it's not, then I'm genuinely curious, but I just like, I don't think that's, you know, I we'll see.
But like, I just have so many questions. Like what, so they have Gray Matter Lane. What happened to Gray Malk in prison? Does that still exist?
Right. Like, yeah. There's not a lot of follow up from, cause like all the series kind of abruptly put on hold so that they could do the Age of Revelation crossover.
Right.
And now this is kind of the first issue back from that.
And you'd think that Age of Revelation would have more bearing on this story, like especially like with we talked about it
with the Cyclops issue. I was a little surprised. I was expecting some kind of like fallout from Age of Revelation in this, and it wasn't there at all. Even in a big scene that seems like that's exactly where they would be talking about it, it's just completely ignored. So I don't know. I thought that was a little odd.
I will keep reading.
I mean, you did say
it's an X-Men book.
You did say you were curious. Yeah, like you want to know. You've got a lot of questions.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
What more do we want to say about X-Men?
I think we've said enough. Yeah. I think I've said as much as I can say.
I'm definitely curious to see where it's going. I just thought like for a first issue, you know, things could have been approached differently.
A little more oomph to it, you know. I don't know. Okay. I got a couple of things. Well, we already talked about Bleeding Hearts. Let's see. I got a couple of books here. Do you have one more still?
One more.
Well, let's talk about Dork really quick.
Yeah.
Issue 2 of Dork comes out, and this is a book we talked about. Was it last week that the second printings came out, or was it the week before? This book really took off. You know, in suspicious ways. I don't think we don't need to say too much more about that. But it's really popular. So if you were lucky enough to get a copy of Dork #1 and you like the story, I think the key to it is everybody that I've talked to genuinely really liked the story of Dork #1. So issue 2 comes out tomorrow. I did read this issue. I liked this issue. It was a good continuation of the first issue. It's I like it about as much as I liked the first issue, which is to say it's like it's not. I wasn't as excited to read it as something like Bleeding Heart, which I really like.
Yeah.
But I enjoy this. I like Brett Bean's art a lot, and it's kind of just fun and irreverent. And I like this. I like the situation of the chicken with his head cut off, where it's like the ghost head and then the like zombie body. That's a good joke. There's some good bits here. There's like a little bit of a sci-fi element in this issue, as you can see with these kids here. They're time thieves. Every time they stab you, it steals a little bit of your life, like time from your life. So it's kind of neat. There's a lot of like fun concepts being thrown around. And this issue was mostly action, but it looked great. So I think this series definitely has legs, and as I'm sure there's probably going to be a third printing coming soon. So just so that people can kind of like keep getting into it and jump into it. But
the hype was real.
The hype, the hype was off the charts. But it's good. I enjoy it. All right. One more really quick. This is just speaking of hype books. This is another one that's got a lot of hype ahead of it. This is Tigress Island #1. This is by Patrick Kinlan, and I don't know how to pronounce this artist's name. It's literally the 4 letters EPHK. I don't know if it's or Efik. I don't know. It's clearly like a pen name, a nomenclature. It doesn't matter. His art, their art, I don't know who this artist is incredible. It's really, really good. Patrick Kinlan wrote the Gehenna series that I really loved last year. I talked about it a lot. So this series is kind of like it's like a tribute to like Grindhouse, kind of a little bit. There's a little bit of a Grindhousey element to it. I mean, you can see right here, like this is all 70s style, you know, and it is it looks great. I would say my one caveat is that this feels like the whole issue is just a lot of setup, but it's dense. So you really don't get a feel for like, where is this going? Like, what is this even about until the last several pages? But and this is kind of gets into my thing that I complain about a lot, where it's like you kind of have to spoil that to explain the high concept of like what is this, like what is happening here. And it's basically a bunch of ladies, escort ladies. They all get hired for a job by some guy, and then they all get human trafficked. Yeah. So it's like kind of serious, like dark matter, but also it's played kind of like for
to say the art style does not reflect that subject matter.
That's right. That's where the grindhousey nature comes in. And they all wake up on this island that's owned by this mysterious billionaire, and they're just like anything. They're just like his slaves now, and they've got to figure. There's a little bit of a tease that there's something else going on, but like you have like this woman here is like the headmistress who's, you know, gonna whip them into shape. Literally, she's got a whip. And so it's like, it's very much like, this feels like the type of book that was made to be adapted by somebody trying to do their best Quentin Tarantino impression, if that makes sense. Because Quentin Tarantino loves that 70s grindhouse, like exploitation cinema, but I don't think I guess he has done adaptations before. Now that I'm stupid, Elmore Leonard's he did Jackie Brown was an adaptation of an Elmore Leonard novel.
I didn't know that.
But he doesn't. I just can't fathom Tarantino making a comic book adaptation. You know, so I'm not even gonna. Wild. It would be wild.
About doing Star Trek all the time.
He has talked about that, but I don't think that's happening.
I can't even fathom what that would be like.
I know, I can't. But anyway, so this definitely feels like that kind of a comic book. It's not super action heavy, but it's like, grimy, you know. They spend a lot of time kind of getting into these the girl characters, and just like there's lots of conversations between them, and so you do really get a feel for all of their personalities, which I think that's what the issue does really well. Even though I was like a little critical where I felt like the story it's a lot of setup, but it is important because there's a lot of characters. It's like 6 or 7 girls, and you need to kind of know what all of their deals are. Because they all come from different backgrounds, but that, you know, they all ended up in the escort service, but you know, they all have a different history, and personalities and stuff like that.
Sure,
and,
yeah.
you know, that's all going to play into how this story unfolds in some way.
Right.
But it's beautiful, beautiful art. And like that's another thing too. Like yeah, there's like six main characters, and they all like have a distinct look to them. Like that's
Yeah.
what makes this art so good, is that like none of these characters have same face, you know, like some artists do. Like,
Yeah.
and they're not all just differentiated by their hairstyle. Like they're clearly like all different looking people, and it's really, really good.
That's
so
cool.
I do highly recommend this book. If you haven't gotten a copy yet, definitely check. It comes out tomorrow.
Right.
But we've actually had several of them on hold. I think all we have left are variant covers.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so definitely check it out if you can. All right, I got one more book. I think you got one more book.
I got one more
Let's
book.
see what you got there, Sam.
I have Emperor Aquaman, number 15.
Number 15.
I have not been reading Aquaman.
Did you read this issue?
I read this issue, and it was a good entry point.
Like jumping on point, as they say.
For this new arc with Aquaman, where he is going to become Emperor of Atlantis.
All right. Have they done that story before?
It sounds familiar.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Okay.
I thought the art was really good.
It's good looking.
Yeah. I was a little lost because they're wrapping up some DCKO continuity stuff and before that. So, but I mean, it was all pretty straightforward. I wasn't really lost or anything like that.
I gotcha. I think I had mentioned to you earlier. I don't think I've ever read an Aquaman comic, like a single one ever. But I got nothing against the character. It's just I've just never read an Aquaman comic. Yeah. So did you like this? It's good.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, I'm not like in it. It's been the first Aquaman issue that I've read in a really long time. I don't think I've read any Aquaman since Rebirth.
Oh, gotcha.
And,
okay.
So like it was cool for that, to just see where the character is and kind of like what's going on in his little slice of the DC universe. I don't know if I'll keep reading it. I don't know if I said that already.
No, you didn't, but it's interesting.
Yeah. Just because it was so radically different, and it was just kind of like jumping into
just testing the waters, as it were.
Oh, Aquaman! That took me too long.
Are you excited for this Deathstroke the Terminator series?
Oh my god!
But I mean, not to overshadow this Aquaman book, but I mean, Tony Fleecs writing Deathstroke. Like, I'm kind of on board with that.
It looks badass.
Yeah, it looks really cool. All right, well, there we go. Aquaman.
Yeah, if you like Aquaman, you'll like it.
All right, we got one more book to talk about, and then we're gonna wrap up. And this is Kato 84, and your eyes do not deceive you. That is Usagi Yojimbo on the cover there. This is not a comic by Stan Sakai.
Oh.
This is by Zach Rosenberg and Jared Cullum, and it is part of the Usagi extended universe, and they created this with the input and blessing of Stan Sakai.
Cool.
But as if you're a big Usagi fan, you know that Stan Sakai has done Space Usagi comics, which are stories that take place in the future, and they're sci-fi stories, and they're about Miyamoto Usagi's long distant descendant, in the future.
Okay.
This is about one of Miyamoto Usagi's descendants in 1984 Japan.
Oh.
And I kind of really loved this comic. Ooh. It kind of like beautiful art, first of all. I like that they're not just doing Stan Sakai.
Right.
They got their own style, but it still feels like clearly they're influenced. Like the characterizations, the cartooning on the characters is in the style of Stan Sakai.
Yeah.
But like this beautiful watercolor to kind of really fill out the whole page. I like these like
the way that they do like the sides of buildings.
Yeah, like the texturing there. Yeah. Like it's really good looking.
Yeah.
And you can see they're leaning into the whole 80s aesthetic. So it's like a little, like it's not full cyberpunk, but I'm getting just a little bit of vibes. I would maybe like it a little bit more if they leaned into that, but I can understand why they wouldn't want to be too similar to like Space Usagi with just having everything be robots and stuff. But it's also like they're trying to be more realistic, like a realistic 1980s Japan setting, because it does take place in Japan. and it's basically about two of Usagi's descendants. They're I've already forgotten if they're brothers or cousins. I wanted to say they were brothers, but they're basically like small time thieves.
Okay.
And they get, shenanigans happen, and one of them kind of gets blackmailed into doing one final job, and so he's got to like get the family back together to do this job. Excuse me. And like I said, this was a really good issue. I liked it a lot. And what's nice about it too is like you don't have to have ever read Usagi Yojimbo to just kind of pick this up and appreciate it,
right?
Because it is just, it's not the only connection to Usagi Yojimbo is like some repeating names and the fact that they're like literally a descendant of the character, but it's not like it's not like a time travel story,
Yeah.
And the fact that it takes place in the 80s and it's kind of gritty, it does also kind of remind me of like Ninja Turtles a little bit.
That's
because the original
vibe that the cover kind of gives.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I was thinking that, like, because the original Turtles comics were made in the 80s, and
right?
They had that like gritty underground feel, and that's kind of they captured that a little bit in this comic. Really, really good. Maybe probably my favorite comic I read this week.
Okay.
And there was a lot of good comics, and like I really loved that Tiger's Island.
Yeah.
I a lot of good comics this week. But if you've never checked out Usagi Yojimbo, but like this is it's a 5-issue series. It's a great thing you can just jump into with no connection to anything else and just get a cool kind of retro 80s but still modern. I wanted to say samurai because there's a little bit like they're a little bit like they are Ronin, like they're street urchins and it.
So it does play into that.
It plays into it a little bit, like what you would expect from like an 80s pulpy grindhouse movie,
Yes.
But yeah, so highly recommend it. Great book. All right. That's all I got. I mean, there's other books that are coming out tomorrow, but we don't have time to talk about all of them, of course. But like our friend Dan says, it's not just superheroes. There's comics out there for everybody. Sometimes it's grindhouse exploitation of women. Sometimes it's samurai rabbits. Sometimes it's
zombies with hearts.
Zombie with a heart, yeah. Or Godzilla. Sometimes it's just Godzilla. So check us out here at Fantasy Books and Games. Come in and buy some comics. Talk to me and Sam and everybody else here. We all love talking to you. And we'll see y'all next time. Bye.